Hey guys, it's Aniquin, also known as Amy, and happy Friday. I hope you're having a lovely day. This is a bonus video. So we got, as you know, The Sims 4, what is it? Dream Home Decorator, I think is the name. I should know, and I don't. I'm sorry. But we got it on Tuesday, and I am actually on the way to North Carolina with my family for a week vacation. And I'm obviously not taking my computer with me because I'm not there to play video games. I'm there to spend time with my loved ones, but I still wanted to get a chance to play with the pack and see what I could kind of create. That is my favorite part of a new pack release, is seeing after I've gotten my hands on it. I don't like spoilers, but seeing what all the other people, creators and just normal Sims player, everyday Sims players come up with, because we all see the same assets, we all see the same items, and somehow everybody gets something different. And I really love that. That's one of my favorite things in life, honestly. It's just seeing the different ways we are all so creative with the exact same materials. I'm getting a little like sentimental. It's late at night, forgive me. But I am starting here with this apartment here in Evergreen Harbor. This is Stonestreet apartment. I think it says it up in the top left-hand corner there. It's in Evergreen Harbor, like I said. And as we were watching that live stream with Sim Guru Jill, I think it was, when they were going over like the assets and the career and stuff like that, as soon as she started to kind of play around with the different items, and I know I just smacked my lips, I'm sorry, but as she was playing around with the different items, I kind of had this vision of immediately what I wanted to do of a playroom, which I'm sure some other people came up with as well. But I had this vision and I was like, okay, well, that's what I'm gonna do. So the storyline jumped into my head of a single father. He's a divorcee, and he's got 3 kids that he shares custody with his former partner. So they have custody every other week, or visitation every other week, however you would phrase that. And so he's moved out of the home. He's the one that left the space and he's renting this apartment, and he's renovated it because he is a designer, and he's kind of created what he thinks is the perfect sort of family home for him and his children. So they do have the bigger of the 2 bedrooms. So he sacrificed an actual designated office space for the kids to have a playroom, because he wanted them to feel like this was their home, and they weren't losing anything. They still had room for their stuff, room to kind of be cozy and make this their own space as well. Which I really love that idea, because I'm sappy. So I ran with it, and this is what I came up with. So the floor plan's a little strange. You can straight up go into one of the bedrooms and go through every single room in the house without entering the living room. And I didn't do that intentionally. It's just what happened. And as you can see, I am working on Dad's office space here, since he is the designer. He actually doesn't work from home, I don't think. I've not had a chance to really play with the career. I've done a few things, but I haven't, taken an in-depth look at it. But I would think in real life a designer would want a little work from home space. So I gave him this. I did use the modular furniture. I use it in, I think, every single room. That's really just to get a feel for it. It does kind of make the apartment look a little too matchy. That was not intentional. But since this was like a new pack exploration, I wanted to make sure I used it as heavily as I could, just to sort of see. It's kind of like an experiment, right? Because I just needed to see what I could and could not do with it. And I am going to have to play with it a little bit more. I'm very uncomfortable with the way some of the things snap together and how some things float, or they might be too tall, even if they're the same like unit. And I don't think it's like a glitch or anything. It's just user error. This is not a style that I'm comfortable with at all. I don't like the way that it looks in real life. It's just not my thing. I don't think it's ugly or anything like that. It's just not something I enjoy. So I'm a little out of my depth, and I really just need to sit down and go over it, but I won't have time until I get back. So this is we're doing it. We're going to try to make it work on the fly. And I think it does work, I think. But the pieces that were floating, that I had to make float in order to have the height at the top all level, I just used those little jacks decorations, like the yellow thing that you can see on the top there, to make faux furniture feet. And I just sized them down, and I think it works because it's the same wood tone that I chose. If I had chosen one of the other ones, I would have been SOL. But yeah, so this is the living room, and as you can see, I'm going to point out something else as I talk over the entire build. I use that Journey to Batu wall decoration. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. And I sized it down one, and then I took a clock, one of the basic ones, and sized it up one to make kind of a custom clock for this space. And I tried it with a few other clocks like off camera, and honestly I liked the way that it looked. So if you're looking for a way to kind of like zhuzh up the clock game in The Sims 4, that might be something you're interested in. I don't know, but I thought it looked nice. I don't think it would work for like your everyday suburban home necessarily, but for something like this, I think it worked. I think it worked really, really well. Of course, that's subjective. You might hate it, but feel free to try that out. I kind of stumbled upon that and I like the way that it turned out. So I'm sharing that with whoever is watching this. And this is kind of the wrap up of this open space. I'm not really describing what you're seeing because it's clear it's a living room kitchen with an eat-in bar and an office space. Mostly what I focused on was trying to keep the color palette consistent. And then once we got into the bedroom here, I did tone it down a little. So I dialed those wood tones back. That was intentional, but I wanted to stick with that kind of green, purpley, it might honestly be pink, I can't tell, but I wanted to stick with that kind of color tone. And I did pop the bright orange that you saw in the stovetop. Is that the range? I think that's the range, the stove range, and a few of the other decorative elements in the living room. I brought that through into here, so it's in this vase. I think that's a vase. I'm using it as a vase. And it's in a few of the decorative elements in the build as well, or in this room as well, and like the paintings and stuff. Now, if you're looking at the wall and you're thinking, what did she do to the mirror? I did the thing where I blended lights with the mirror. Not everyone likes that. I'm well aware. It's a very strange thing to do, but I like the way that it looks. It's like my one quirk with building. I'm going to blend something with the mirror. It's going to happen. I can't stop myself. So that's what happened. If you hate that, remove it. No harsh, no feelings won't be hurt if you hate that. That's fine. I'm well aware that that is a very taste specific thing to do. I am building a little modular closet. This is not a walk-in closet. I was never intending to enclose this. This is really just sort of more like a dressing space rather than like a dressing room. And I was just kind of playing with how many slotted or how many item slots are on these things. How easy is it to kind of manipulate and move things around? How heavily do I need to rely on the OMSP shelf? And the answer is kind of normal. I mean, I don't think I used it any more than I would like on a typical bookshelf or a dresser or anything like that. Again, the modular furniture I'm not super comfortable with, but I do plan to play around with it, kind of experiment with it a little bit more. So you might see it again. I might include it in another build, but I just need to get more comfortable with it before I'm really going to kind of love the way that it looks. So then we jump into the bathroom. This is a Jack and Jill style bathroom. It works for this family. I don't think it would work in every situation. But I do use that wallpaper that you will never ever see in another like residential type lot again. I think that is very much so a community space wallpaper, specifically a gym or maybe even a dorm room. But I thought it worked because it had the yellow and the brown tones that I wanted to bring into the bathroom. So it stood out a little bit from the rest of the house. I didn't want the entire house to be like green and blue. And so yellow was my compromise because it's in the same color family in my head. I had a color story going on. I did include some kids' toys in the bathtub. One of them is actually on the floor of the tub. The tub is still usable. It's fully functional. I did test it, and I thought that was kind of a fun little way to bring real life into The Sims. That's the kind of thing that sparks joy for me. I really, really like seeing a little bit of life's chaos in a simulation game because that's what we're here for, right? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that at least family players are here for. So this is the children's bedroom, and like I said, he does have 3 kids. I imagine that at least one is a boy, but it really does not matter what the other 2 are. They could all be boys, although they're not triplets. So they're not the same age, but there are 3 of them and they are child's age. I might make this family when I get back. I hate that I won't have the chance to do it before I go. But I'm kind of attached to them, so I would kind of like to see what they look like and what their personalities are. I do give them a kind of color palette, if you will, like they're assigned a color. So there's pink, yellow, and that bluish green. And I gave them their own dresser. That's to kind of designate like where their stuff goes. I think that's really important, especially when you've moved kids out of their element into a new area. I'm getting like technical on you guys, but that's really important for kids to be able to establish, you know, new boundaries and new surroundings and things like that, and have control over something. So that was my way of kind of giving them their space for their stuff. And here we are in the playroom. This is the room that kind of inspired it all as Sim Guru Jill was having the time of her life. This is the room that sparks joy for me in so many ways I can't even articulate it. I love this space. But I am going to leave you guys here. This is the kind of end of the build. We're about to hit the screenshots. Feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about the build, about the family, about the pack, about life. I don't really care. I really do just like hearing from you all. Of course, no pressure ever. I also have an Instagram if you want to check out the screenshots. It's there for your viewing pleasure, but there's, again, no pressure. It will be there regardless. Have a wonderful, happy, and safe rest of your Friday and rest of your weekend. I will see you on Sunday with a speed build, and there will be a special treat for you guys the next Sunday. After that, we will be back to normal and regular uploads, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye, guys.